Changing background because I have now started my second year at uni, so this is my room for the next year. Very exciting, cute little fairy lights going and an amazing kind of autumnal candle. So it smells lovely in here, but to get to the main point, today I'm going to do a review of Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. I realise this book has been out for a very long time, so I'm behind on reading it, but I finally got around to reading it on my TBR list, and I was not disappointed. It is probably the best book I have read all year. It was amazing. I knew I was going to love it because I'm absolutely in love with the film. It's one of my favourite films of all time, and therefore I kind of knew I was going to love the book anyway. But it was a 10 out of 10 book. It was fantastic. I would recommend it to anyone. There were so many things I liked about it. I can't even begin to explain, really. Firstly, the writing I thought was genius, and it would be because Dan Brown is a fantastic writer. But it was just things like the way he phrased things, and his pace was so strong throughout. And the speeches that the Cardinals gave at some points, and that actually made me question my viewpoint on faith. Not my own faith, but my view on faith and how it affects things. I definitely began to question that as I was reading. And it's one of those books that I read and felt like I was learning stuff about myself, but it was also a book that I read I felt like I was learning stuff about the world around me, because it's so well researched, these books, that I feel like I was learning a lot about sort of the Vatican and Catholicism and just the Illuminati as an organisation, just everything around it. I just found it absolutely fascinating. It was so cleverly done. It felt so informative, and yet there wasn't too much information being thrown at you that it affected the pace. It was still really fast going. I think that mainly had much of an impact to the fact that the whole book spanned over one night. So it was going to be really fast paced because everything was sort of set to a time, all the mysteries that had to be solved and things like that. But for a book this size, I think it's well over 700 pages. It's impressive that it was that like fast paced. I didn't really feel like any part of the book was dragging at all. So I was very impressed. I also love the characters in this book. I've always loved Robert Langdon as a character. I think he's really good, and I'm looking forward to reading another one in the series that he belongs to. But I always loved him in both the films and in Da Vinci Code, so I knew I was going to like him as a character. But I also love all the other characters around him. I think like everyone is really well developed and sort of three-dimensional. There's a lot of twists and turns, both through character development and plot development. Some were ruined for me because obviously, as the film was one of my favourite films, I've seen it many times, so the big plot points I did know, but there's still enough in this book to keep you intrigued, and different things are discovered, and different timings and things, so there's still enough in this book to make me interested in what's happening in the book, aside from the film. But it was absolutely phenomenal, and as I said, it is a 10 out of 10 book that I would highly recommend to anyone, really. That's all really I've got to say about it. I also did a review on my Goodreads page, I'll link that below. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say. Let's also give a quick plot synopsis. So to sum it up, Robert Langdon has been summoned by CERN to help solve an issue that has in his area of expertise, and then it turns out that this puzzle that he's solving for them leads them to Vatican City at both a time of crisis, and during conclave, which is when the Pope dies and a new Pope is elected, in case anybody didn't know. I say elected. Elected is the best word I can think of, but yeah, best word I can think of. So that's kind of what's spanning for the whole of the book. So basically the whole book takes place just over the night of conclave, and that is it. And it is phenomenal, and I can't think of any other ways to describe how good this book is. I just think if you haven't read it, you probably should. If you're not into reading that much, I don't know why you're watching this video, but if you're not into reading that much, but you still really are intrigued by the story, definitely watch the film because it is fantastic. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this book. Definitely the best book I have read so far this year. Okay, if anyone else has read Angels and Demons, let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, I really don't mind. Just let me know in the comments because I'm interested to find out. Other than that, I hope you're all having a great time, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye!